side. Get what we need.
And this is this week's Classic Classic.
Good afternoon, Burlington, and happy birthday, America. Welcome to July 4th Parade, Burlington's July 4th Parade, brought to you by Burlington Cable Access Television. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Frank Halberg, and we'll be bringing you all of today's events during the parade. Frank's coming up in the truck here with us. Some of the players today we want to get in a plug real early. Director Sarah Twist, audio is Dick Linder, camera Keith Butler, Rich Fuckeril, Matt Pothier, Kristen Rustino, floor director Wayne Higdon. And we're going to take a little break and let you watch the festivities here until the sirens go by. Okay. Today's parade marshal is Gloria Lombard, who is the retiring principal at the Fox Hill School, after I believe 32 years of service in the Burlington school system. Okay, I want to bring Frank Halberg in now. We're by the noisier part of the event here, Frank. It's difficult to do play-by-play over that type of noise, huh?
Certainly is. It's noisiest part of the parade. I feel very sorry for the parade marshal who has to march in front of this in a car. And listen to all that noise. It's deafening. I did it last year. I was a driver, and it's no fun at all being in front of these engines.
Okay, we want to bring in Steve Zimmerman and George McDonald here, and they're going to give us some history on the original establishment of the parade as part of the original group of JCs that were involved with a variety of civic organizations, I believe, in 1963. Is that correct, Steve?
1962 was the first time we had a 4th of July celebration. 1963, we had our first parade. I want to give credit where credit is due. A guy named Whitney Coleman is really responsible because as a chairman of a subcommittee in the JCs, he under Ron McKenzie's presidency, started the ball rolling. I turned president in June and took credit for the fact that we had the first 4th of July celebration in Burlington, I guess ever. The following year, Ray McLaren was a chairman of a group of civic organizations who, like a round table, had made the first parade, and then Ray became for 10 years a permanent chairman. And George McDonald was a member of that committee for a good number of years, and he probably can tell you a little more about that.
Well, the first year we had fun and games up at the Simons Park, had a MA loudspeaker and played martial music and gave out prizes to the kids. The next year we had a parade. We went up the hill and everyone was huffing and puffing. We decided then we wouldn't go up the hill. The next year I was placed in charge of getting military participants. We got quite a few, Navy and Marine and Hanscom Field, and there was an Army unit in it. And we hadn't run many parades. We did not know the reviewing stand had to be on the right. And the Army captain got me and said, "Did you ever hear the command, eyes left?" We then knew. We also found out that they had to go in order of precedence, the Army first, Navy second, etc. So we had to get that down. A few years later, in order to improve the military, which was kind of stagnant, we got the same units every year, we got our first Grand Marshal, who was a lieutenant general in charge of Hanscom. We got no more than what we had previous years. Ray thought that wasn't a very good idea. That was the first year, by the way, that we ran the luncheon up at the country club. I think it cost, Steve got all the food. It was...
Well, I catered it myself, yeah.
It was dirt cheap.
Wait a minute, not dirt cheap. I mean, we fed 140 people for $300,
Yeah,
I mean.
the mall was amazed at how low the price was.
Economical.
Yes.
Shrimp cocktail?
Yeah. So the next year, Ray figured, well, the military didn't work out. Let's honor one of our own. Maud Graham was just retiring, and we had her the Grand Marshal. And Jerry McBride came in charge of getting the Outstanding Citizen. And we went through quite a lot of people very, very deserving of it. And that held on as, I think, a very nice tradition in the town.
Okay, Steve, you are a former outstanding citizen, I believe.
Two years ago.
2 years ago.
Yep.
They
didn't have a parade in my honor that year, if you remember.
That was rather an irony, considering the fact that you were involved in the original setup of the parade.
I'd tell you about the boo-boo I did in the first one without the parade. The year before, we had our superintendent of schools be our guest speaker, and I introduced him as our friend and superintendent Jerry Lynch. And my wife gave me he's Dr. Jerome Lynch, honey, But those are the days, and you'll notice there is a string of JC activity, us old guys, all through, all these years. Okay, back to you.
Okay. Steve, by the way, was witness to the rebirth of the 4th of July parade 2 years ago when there was no parade for Steve. You want to do this first? Okay, well, there was no parade for Steve. And so a few of us got together, set up at the SO station as we do every year to watch the parade, and had Steve drive down Cambridge Street to get applause by this small group. Further up the road was a small group headed by Amy Evans. We got together, and Amy said, "Boy, we can't have this happen again. We need a parade." And that was the beginning of the rebirth of the 4th of July parade.
Okay, so we had roughly 26 years of unending success with it, and then a one-year hiatus, and it was rather interesting because I was here that 2 years ago and did drive down the street myself, and there were a number of protest signs. Actually, a rather large gathering of people accumulated on both sides of the street, waiting for a parade that wasn't. They knew it wasn't coming, but nevertheless had signs of protest and calls for a rebirth of the Burlington Parade. And it's back. It's bigger than ever. And Frank, you've been a big part of it last couple of years. Tell us what we can expect today.
Well, today we've got about 14 bands marching and otherwise. We have about the same number of floats, and we've got a couple of good acts, unicyclists and juggles, and we have a Miss Liberty who is on stilts, several clowns throughout the parade. It's going to be a good parade. We're going to enjoy it quite a bit. It's a little better than last year, which was our first attempt, and I think next year will be even stronger.
Okay, this is the Tony Barry marching band coming towards us now?
Yes, this is Tony Barry in the front, leader. This is his first year in the Burlington Parade, and he's a lot of fun. We've heard a lot of good things about him. He's a big good parade.
Along with the VFW marches.
Ginny helps out on the committee, does a little work for us each year, the last year and this year. She's very helpful, and we appreciate her efforts.
Okay, we do want to mention again and plug BCAT. This is brought to you by Burlington Cable Access Television, and we have a whole host of volunteers. I think you'll be impressed with the camera work today. We're running 3 cameras and the full director's truck and all of the gizmos that go along with it, none of which I am acquainted with. However, I know they do bring a video with it. Again, the director today is Sarah Twist. Dick Linder is on audio. Keith Butler, Rich Fuckerell, Matt Pothier, Kristen Restino are on camera. And Frank, this is a veterans float also.
If things are in order, this is the Allied Veterans float, I believe it is. We may have some difficulty getting people in order today. We've only got a couple of people at the starting gate, and there have been a few problems here, so you'll have to bear with us if we excuse it all.
Okay, we do want to throw in a few names too of the people who are involved. That was Win Street Towing, Eddie Igo's truck that's supporting the veterans float. This is now the DAV. Should have we're going to have the antique cars, and then I guess the steel drum band is here this year also.
The branches,
Frank.
They came back this year. Interesting story. Last year, I guess I can say I hate to admit this, but thought it was a marching band, so we didn't provide them with a truck. And they got here, and at the very last minute, Harrington's came up with a truck. Thank God for those people. It's the gas station up here on Cambridge Street. They came through with a truck that wasn't quite large enough, so about half of the branches band didn't get to play last year. We have a 30-foot truck this year.
We got the whole crew, and they were one of the big hits last year, an all-steel drum band, very, very good.
Bob Luciano going to describe me. That's not Bob Luciano. The red car being shown now.
This is a 56 Buick, and I think this is, what, a 54 Ford here, the most original winner. 53 Ford, Wayne Higdon, our floor director, tells me. That's a 53 Chevy, I believe. Now, this truck right here, 64 Chevy is next.
Early 49, 50 Merc.
Starting to date myself now. I actually remember wanting to drive one of these. The 49 Mercury. And these, I'm happy to say, the next group I'm not familiar with at all. Nor have I ever ridden in one.
That was my first 10 years. That was the kind of a car that was available to me. Sound of the horn brings back many memories during the 30s.
Okay, here are the scholar athletes now. Todd Saxon and Gina Cavalli. We get a shot of them. There they are. Well, this looks like this is a Model T, is it not?
I believe that's what that is. The antique car people have been very cooperative year after year, and many we seem to have more cars every year when they come, and we're very grateful for that.
Well, here's an interesting one with a license plate that says repeal the 19th Amendment. I believe the 19th was prohibition.
I might add that Chet Grinnell was a gentleman I thought was somebody else. He organized the antique cars for us this year and last.
This one with an old-time rumble seat. Tough place to be in the rain. Good place to have the mother-in-law, Frank. Ouch.
In my day, there were a lot of those rumble seats. Of course, they were outlawed because of a large number of deaths that happened from short stops and so forth. Happened about the middle of the 40s, I guess.
Okay, our floor director today is Wayne Higdon. Production assistant Howard Alberts. Float producer, excuse me, we do, BCAT does have a float this year, is Frank McGonigal. Float videographer is Charlie Bobish. And we want to offer special thanks to the Burlington Parade Committee, the Burlington Civil Defense, Burlington Exxon, who is providing power for us today, Darko Shell Station, and of course the Burlington Recreation Department. And also Tony Farrier of the Selectman's Office.
Tony Farrier is also a committee member, and she helped to put on the Outstanding Citizen Affair at the Knights of Columbus this year.
Which is Paul Christensen, and we hope to get an interview with Paul later on.
Tony did a fabulous job, I might add, and this year she passes the big 4-0, as I understand. I hope she doesn't mind if I say that. Seems like she's been around longer than that to me. She's active every year.
Frank, you could be in deep trouble. This one is a 53 T-Bird, I think. That's a beauty.
Buzz Fleming has a 56, I believe, and been working on for several years now. Possibly next year we'll have it in the parade.
56 T-Bird, 64 T-Bird now in this deep blue one.
Just doesn't work. Amy Evans is the organizer of the 4th of July parade last year and this year. Other notable people, I mentioned Tony Farrier. Buzz Fleming was in the selection committee for the Man of the Year, Person of the Year, and he also was MC at the affair, at the celebration.
Yeah, there's an old timer from the Roberto Company, Roberto Trucking. L.J. De Palma of Tewksbury with a couple of entries. An old Mac coming up now on the monitor.
I don't know if we mentioned that Al Fay was helpful in organizing the fire engines as he has for many years.
And we did have a large contingent today. We had, of course, Burlington's own new 110-foot ladder. Representing about $500,000, and it looked like $500,000, Frank, as well as the hazmat vehicle, and a large contingent from Needham, Woburn, Malden, Billerica, amongst many others.
How does that $500,000 translate into cost per family. Have you figured that out, Phil?
On the tax rate, I think that's about a dime.
Well, it was well.
Money well spent. I don't know what it was, Frank, but it's indeed quite powerful.
Yeah, I'd say a muffler or two would be in order.
Yeah. Dual quads, supercharged. Looked like about, I don't know, 427, Wayne? What do you think? 500 or 600 horse, maybe 400 or 500 horse. Okay, and shortly we'll have the first float of the day, which I think is the Burlington Players, Frank.
That's what's next on the list, Phil. Let's hope it worked out this way.
Good speculation.
Yeah. We might add that the floats were headed up in our committee this year by Linda Girardi, who did the same job last year. An outstanding job. There's a heck of a lot of work trying to get people to run floats and keeping them interested year after year.
Do you want to mention the crowd? Consistently big crowd turns out, particularly in this area, but all along the parade route.
Big hit among the young people here, I must say. A lot of noise.
He ain't gonna be able to move in town after today.
Well, we'll have to give that license number to the police department, Frank.
We don't need much trouble finding it, I'd say.
If he was unknown previously, he's not after today.
He is a local boy. You know, I understand.
Okay, this is Dave Jones trucking Burlington, Mass. Big Kenworth with the Burlington Players Park Playhouse. And this one first place in business, driven by
trucks in town because there would be no floats without them, and they're all very, very cooperative. I hope, Phil, that next year we can interest more people into putting floats into the parade. Also, I might mention that people who can juggle or do gymnastics or any kind of a thing that will be interesting to people in a parade should volunteer. Come, call me, call Amy, call anybody, call Town Hall. But we'd love to have that kind of person in the parade. I think it adds a lot of color and interest.
Although we obviously have a mixed group here of adults and children, the emphasis of the July 4th activities throughout the town is for the kids, and those type of performers are something unique to children in their attraction to them. Kids, clowns, we've got mutant ninja turtles, and we've got men in drag in the previous one of the previous bands, which seems to be an attraction. If you have any type of interesting creative work that you like to do, get in touch with us, Town Hall or Frank or Amy, anybody involved. We'd love to put you in the parade. Okay, this is the Order of Sons of Italy of Burlington. It's Mary Smith, former outstanding citizen, I believe, in Burlington.
Well, running in pretty much in order so far.
we have Gloria now. Gloria, your impressions of the parade, and then we want to talk to you about your plans for retirement.
This parade has been great. I rode the whole route, sitting up on the hood, the back of the convertible, and I saw people that I haven't seen in years, and from little ones to all the graduates from the school. It's been real fun. I've enjoyed it.
Should we choose another place for the parade marshal as it relates to the fire engines next year?
No. I'm the daughter of a former firefighter, so it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. Now, your decision on your retirement and your plans for the future.
Well, this is my 4th day of retirement, which is a good day, 4th of July. I spent 26 years in Burlington, and they were great. I enjoyed it, and now I'm looking forward to 26 good years of retirement. Good Lord willing.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your lengthy service in the town.
Thank you.
And good luck in your future.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was the Knights of Columbus there, and we have coming up Burlington's Outstanding Citizen for this year.
One
Paul
little correction
Christensen.
here. It was the North End Italian Band.
Oh, excuse me.
I think the Knights of Columbus said.
Oh, and that's okay. The Knights of Columbus followed the band.
Because I don't know who you
Very
are.
good. Very good band.
Oh, Wayne Higdon. How are you? Glad to meet you, Dr. Lombard. I didn't realize.
We're coming up here. We have
Because I live on the other end of town. I'm sorry.
Okay, tell us about the events, the dinner honoring Paul. Frank.
It was a great dinner. It was to begin with. Buzz Fleming did a super job emceeing. I learned a lot of things about Paul Christensen that I never knew. This man is quite a character. He's done a lot of behind-the-scenes work, particularly for children and the unfortunate people or elderly. Throughout his career, and just a remarkable person. Ball's on the screen now.
Sorry about that, Frank. We were setting up an interview there, so that was sign language.
Remarkable person.
Many years of service in the Burlington Police Department, as well as a variety of other, I believe, community pantry, a variety of other charitable works throughout town. And the type of work that doesn't draw a great deal of public notice, but in the final analysis is a great deal of good works. And that's Paul's mom, who's along with him in the front seat.
Paul's the kind of person in this town that I feel is typical of the kind of person we should be honoring for a Citizen of the Year, because he's in the background. There are many people in the background, Phil, I think, that go unrecognized in real life, and it's sort of unfair not to have him come to the forefront.
Well, it's actually the whole purpose of the Outstanding Citizen is to honor an individual, but not just the person themselves, but the works that they provide, which is so prevalent throughout town, a feature of Americana throughout the nation, indeed, in terms of getting the job done without necessarily receiving any personal reward. Okay, that's the third place finisher in the children's division. Which one is that, Frank? That's Christmas in July. Okay, here's a political statement on the July 20th referendum vote. Get out and vote.
That is put in by the Wynn Street neighborhood group, as you might expect, right?
Might expect. Okay, this next one is brought on the Arcadia landscaping truck. And this is the winner,
also
first
Wynn
place
Street,
winner
I believe.
in the neighborhood group.
This is also a Wynn Street group. They had 2 floats in. I'll mention the leader is a guy by the name of Don Gordon, and driver of the first float was Jack Blinkhorn.
Okay, and Kevin Gallant is driving the second one along with his daughter Sandy Gallant.
And John Keating was just waving to you with a trophy.
Oh, there's my main man! There's my main man, the golden voice of Burlington.
Halberg, cable access TV. Phil Gallagher, television commentator, author, bon vivant. We got it all, brother.
Thank you, Big Bird.
Thank you, Big Bird. I should have him be my publicist, Frank.
Who is that masked man? There's a great group, the New Liberty Jazz Band. They've been with us for, probably 3 or 4 years now. They've done concerts at the Town Common when we had concerts at the Town Common. Super group.
Okay, here's BCAT's own float here. And Frank McGonigal, and that's Charlie Barbish, who's the videographer up top. And our float won 3rd place in the business category.
Can you read the words, Phil? Hey, Sarah, look.
Yeah.
I'm referring to 3rd place business.
There's an editorial comment for Sarah Twist, our director today.
Okay, coming up, you can hear the Stuart Highland Band. This is their first year working in Burlington. We found them at the Woburn Parade last Thanksgiving.
And Joe and Pemba.
What a fine-looking group. Mr. Judge is a little casual today, and Mr. Mpemba.
In the spirit.
Beautiful
Okay,
day
here's
for
Burlington, the Burlington Road Race winner, young Tommy McCartney.
Interestingly enough, I've been sitting in this spot now for about 20 years watching the parade. It's fine that you should pick this spot for me, and it's home.
Certain symmetry in that.
Yes, there is.
Okay, the next float will be the safety float.
I just put in here that the parade is running pretty much on schedule. The events are running in sequence pretty well, and that's all due to the efforts of Steve Carson, who's a starter at the parade. He's down there all alone. Maybe has one person helping, but as I was departing to come up here, he said, "Please, for goodness sake, get me some help. I can't handle this." He's doing a great job.
Okay, we're going to have our floor director do some big floor directing here. See if we can get Wayne to get the individual bands to stop the reviewing stand to perform their numbers, which should be, we hope to be able to do that so we can give you a full look at all the bands that are coming up, particularly the steel band.
Yeah. They were late getting here. They had us a little bit upset. They showed up about 10 minutes 10 minutes to 2. But they're here, and they may be out of place in the parade, but we're all going to get a chance to enjoy them.
Okay, this is a safety float, and I guess that says it all. Says it all, actually. Buckle them up.
The fellow waving at you looks something like my brother-in-law.
The in-laws are taking it on the chin today, Frank.
Maybe I should say ex-brother-in-law. That would take care of the present family. nice to see floats coming out in the cause of safety and anti-drug and so forth. It's
I just wanted to
it's a
kiss
good.
the color man. Hello, color man.
How are you? That was for any one of you who go back a ways. That was Jean Swiggett, former chairman of the Republican Town Committee, and she lived on the corner of Phillips Ave and some other street. I don't know. But
Frank,
in that area, you all remember her.
You've got personal magnetism, Frank. I've been doing TV for a while. I haven't gotten any kisses. Here you are, first time out, getting kisses here at the
That
stand.
cost me $130.
Should have gotten that on video.
That's the going rate now, if you're interested. Here's the steel band, and right in there.
Okay. That's Wayne Higdon, our floor director, who has commandeered this truck and is going to get him to stop right in the first spot.
They're a group from Hyde Park, Massachusetts.
Okay, we have Amy Evans with us, and we're going to do an interview here in just a minute as soon as we get a break in the action. Okay, this is Norman Wilson and Al Paray. Okay, Amy Evans, congratulations. So far, so good. What do you think?
I think the
Please.
committee did an excellent job. There's a lot of hard work. We got a few guys at the front, Buzz Fleming, Steve Carson, a bunch of people down the front trying to line everybody up and get them out one by one and in order. It's a big job, but they're perfect. They're doing a perfect job.
Seems to be quite an improvement over the timing of last year in terms of the spacing in the floats.
Yes, what we did this year was we told all the drivers to check the person behind them. If they stopped, we wanted everybody to stop at the same time. It slows the parade down, but at least you're not waiting for 5-10 minutes with nothing there.
Okay, plans I assume will start tomorrow for next year's event.
We'll take a week off.
Take a week off. Anything new? Any new ideas for next year?
Not yet. What we'll do is we'll have a meeting a week or two after this parade, and we'll see if there's any changes that we thought should be made, and we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there.
Okay, and any interested volunteers, where can they reach you? They call Recreation?
They can reach us right through the Recreation Department, and we'll sign them up. Glad to have them. They can get a neat red shirt, like the rest of the committee members.
So months of work for a neat red shirt.
And a lot of fun, though.
Thanks very much. Congratulations,
Thank
Amy.
you.
The party every day. It's NBC. You keep us shouting, you keep us shouting.
Wasp, which was a carrier in the First World War, the Second World War, pardon me, and it was supposed to be traveling home towards the Statue of Liberty.
Okay, and this is the Boy Scouts of America, and their float is automotive, Jerry O'Shea, automotive technology and transmission.
This is Troop 103.
Don't spray water on the equipment, Jerry. And that's a Patriot missile depicted there. A Scud Buster.
That float was headed up by Jim Rosa.
Okay, and that won second place in the children's category. Okay, and the next band is the Citations Burlington group. I think this is the junior group.
Citations has not been active for the last year or two. And this year they reformed, and it is a very young group. But that's all there is to the Citations right now.
They're a participant for many years in the previous parades, so it's good to have them back. And maybe we can grow up, watch them grow up.
That's, I hope we're all around to see them get to be married. Juggling, I believe.
Hey, here's Miss Liberty.
Comparing Miss Liberty to the Citation is sort of the long and the short of it, isn't it? I'm sorry I said that.
Okay, this is the Dare Float first place non-business. Win Street Sales is the business sponsor. Contingent of young Burlingtonians, or is it Burlingtonites, Frank?
I like Burlingtonians myself.
I'm sure that's a question, a debate that will rage on for the ages. Okay, this is the Burlington High School contingent here of football players. Jimmy Holmes,
Two vehicles
Tony
here.
Haypenny, Tony D'Alessio on that one.
Captain of the Burlington high school team, as many know, was Jim Holmes.
Yeah. Adam Lawrence, Ginger Bormeister,
Steve McGuire
Denny Hannafin,
and Jim Haypen,
Jimmy Haypenny. Yeah, this is the first one.
Tony D'Alessio.
Okay, who's this next band, Frank?
This may be the Wanderers. New this year, headed up by Vinny Capozzi. Five-piece rock group.
One is Miss Team Talent and Model. And who's that, Frank?
That's Lisa Adams. Lisa lives down on South Bedford Street. She won in the national contest. She won for the state of Massachusetts. And the next contest, I think, is in Nashville, where she will represent the state. She's a lovely young lady. Didn't get her age. By the way, passing by is Cyrus Koski. Unicyclist. I don't see that he's juggling, but I forget what you call that, Phil.
Well, it's I don't think it's a unicycle, but I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I wouldn't want to be on it, Frank. That's for sure. A large bike with a small wheel.
The last contest that Lisa was in was held in Chicopee. She became Miss winner in the Massachusetts contest.
Okay, we do want to mention again that this is brought to you by Burlington Cable Access Television. We have a little bit of a lull here, and we want to mention some of the behind the scenes people who are working so diligently today to bring you today's parade. Sarah Twist, of course, is our director. Dick Linder is on audio. Camera, Keith Butler. Rich Fugerill, Matt Pothier, Kristen Rustino. Our floor director is Wayne Higdon. Production assistant is Howard Alberts. Float producer Frank McGonigal. Float videographer Charlie Barbish. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Frank Halberg. And that's how many people it takes you to bring a production of this size.
Let me, Phil, if you may, put in a plug for some of the Burlington group here who have participated. Fran Ametta was in charge of the children's events this morning and did a super job. Phil has somebody, I'll finish this later. Phil has somebody here that would love to be interviewed.
Well, we have Mary Roberts here with us, a young lady from town, and she's going to give us her impressions of today's parade. We think.
I think you just got it.
It was good, I think, so far it's good. It's longer than I think last year's. There's too many fire engines.
Too many fire engines. Okay. Everybody's a critic,
Don't
Frank.
tell Alfred.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along, I just word of thanks too for all the veterans group's work was done by Dick LeBlanc and Bob Machado, both of who are in the parade today. As I mentioned earlier, Virginia Mooney helps us every year. Steve Morganelli as well. Trish Morrison helped with a raffle, helped us raise some funds, much needed funds. I spent too much money on the bands this year, I guess. And
well, we want to mention the Board of Selectmen too, as well as town meeting, who who has supported the program over the last 2 years with appropriations from the town, as well as matching funds raised up by the committee. Okay, these are Minutemen from what contingent?
Well, let's see. These, I believe, are the Mononabee Minutemen. Coming up is Dennis Cormier, right behind the flag, a local boy. Dennis, by the way, has a very interesting collection of bottles and memorabilia from the Woburn restaurant over here, whose name escapes me. On the Middlesex Canal. Baldwin Mansion.
Baldwin Mansion, yeah.
He had found a letter from Colonel Baldwin had written, and the display is now in the Burlington Public Library. You ought to go take a look. It's really an interesting display.
Okay, and here we have a contingent from Wilmington of Minutemen.
Some of the Minutemen marches we have here today, Phil, spent part of the morning at the turnaround for the Old Ironsides this morning in Boston.
Okay, and here we have Hope and Bob Paulson, and this is a Revolutionary era cannon that Bob has acquired and restored. Rather interesting item if we can get the camera on it.
They call themselves the Burlington Artillery, Ron McKenzie just noted. Hope and her husband were the people I mentioned that were in this morning for the turnaround. They've had a busy day.
Okay, we want to get a good shot of that. There's
Burlington
Hope and Bob
people
on your
houses.
monitor. Okay, there's a good shot of the cannon.
Both Hope and Bob have been active in town for many years on many different
Town meeting, as well as numerous other committees and activities. There's a bluegrass band.
Oh, shadows of the childhood still follow me to bed. How the spring sang the day we played. And now the times are harder than somehow they've got away. Making my heart yearn for yesterday. One too many memories. So long ago, forgotten. There's a far away.
Our committee did a lot of scurrying around to find generators for them.
Okay, this is Mother to Mother, 10th anniversary float, and this is also a Wynn Street service truck.
Debbie Morganelli heads up this group. It's a group of mothers who meet occasionally to discuss bringing up children, and they get the children together once a week to play with each other and so forth.
They got a special thanks on there to Irwin Givens Flores, as well as the Marriott.
I guess they call themselves a parent support group, is how they describe them.
Okay, here's the best children's theme and second place for business. And this float is, which one is this, Frank?
Running out of order at this point. We'll have to give credit to this
Not
group.
sure which one that one is. Okay, that's World of Learning, is their float.
We are a little out of order. Coming up, we have the Conqueror 2 band, which is a band out of Canada. They spent this morning in Norwood, a town in that area, at a parade, and they have a parade to go to after they're through with us.
Politicians love a parade. Ed Markey is no exception. He's here, our congressman, back from Washington. There's a couple of fans here enjoying themselves at the parade. Ed still doesn't have very many gray hairs, considering the job he has. Yeah. Politicians love a parade and a camera. Good to see you, Ed. How are you?
Daryl Leffler, the young lady in the white suit, is the head of the Conquerors 2 band.
Parade Committee would like to extend their thanks to all of the people who helped make this year's 4th of July parade a success. Al Fay and the Burlington Fire Department, the Burlington Police Department, Wynn Street Service, Burlington Texaco, Dave Jones, Automotive Technology and Transmission, All Events Limousine, the Burlington Knights of Columbus, the Burlington Business Roundtable, the Burlington Mall, the Burlington Marriott, Gallagher's Restaurant, Legal Seafood, Victoria Station, Chili's, Raytheon, the Burlington Recreation Department, and all of the volunteers who have made the July 4th morning activities as well as the parade and the activities on the Common possible.
We really can't thank the supporters enough, Phil. Without them, there's no parade.
The event, and I think that's proved itself to be true over the last 2 years with the revitalization of the parade committee, Frank.
Thank you. I think Burlington, my term here with 20 or so years, it's a great town, very active. Everyone pitches in. It's unlike many towns in this world. It's a super town for activism and participation.
Okay, this is the Burlington Science Center recycling exhibit. Jennifer Pondelli guessed the correct number of cans in that block, which you can see on the back.
Oh, no, we're not going to do a play-by-play.
And our guest now is Kenny Pondelli, who is the voice of Burlington's girls basketball, as well as the color man in some of our other sporting events. Kenny, your impressions of today's parade?
Fabulous. You couldn't ask for a better day for it, really, Phil. It's a great turnout. I can't believe all the people that came out. It's gorgeous, gorgeous time.
And how did we get a winner there on the number of cans guessed? Remember the family?
It was easy. Jennifer, the first thing Jennifer did was she drank 11,560 cans, and she knew right off. It was a fix.
Thanks, Kenny.
Is that the fat lady we just saw?
Where are you broadcasting?
Local TV.
Yeah. Okay, we want to remind you too that the 13th is Recycling Day in Burlington. We're averaging about 30 tons. That's about $2,000 per recycling day that we save in tipping fees at the Neswick facility up in Andover. So if you're not with the recycling program, please get with it. Makes economic sense as well as environmental success.
Mahoney's has been faithful year after year after year. It always has a great flow. Just want to mention a couple of more people on the committee. New this year is Tricia Morrison, who has done a lot of work with the raffle. I think I mentioned that. And then with the children's and seniors, and we had Nancy Muse and Mary Smith, the ever popular Mary Smith, the ever present Mary Smith. And Kim Waters is our secretary this year, done a great job.
Okay, and I believe this is our last float, Frank. Well, that about wraps it up. What we want to do here is go over our staff who's been with us today and all the people behind the scenes who have made today's event possible, or bringing you today's event, as well as making it possible in terms of the parade committee. I'll start with the BCAT, and then you can do the parade committee. Our director today was Sarah Twiss. On audio was Dick Linder, Keith Butler, on camera as well as Rich Fuckerell, Matt Pothier, Kristen Restino. Frank Halberg was our color commentator today. Our floor director was Wayne Higdon. Production assistant Howard Alberts. Our float producer was Frank McGonigal. Float videographer Charlie Bobish. We want to offer our special thanks to the Parade Committee, Burlington Civil Defense, the Burlington Exxon Station for our power requirements, the Recreation Department, as well as Dee's Arco. Frank?
Okay,
thanks to the Parade Committee.
Thanks to the Parade Committee, who 2 years in a row now has done a spectacular job. They're mainly the same people as last year, except for a few new ones. We're all great. I've mentioned them during the parade, so I don't think it's necessary to mention them again. They've done a spectacular job. But again, I want to emphasize those people who supported us with trucks and with money and with floats are what make the parade. There's no parade without them. Please don't stop. We love you. Thank you. Keep going.
Okay, that about wraps it up. We do want to remind you that July 20th is referendum day on the Wynn Street issues, so we'd urge you all to get out and vote. We hope to have election evening coverage. As a matter of fact, we don't hope, we will have election evening coverage. Also, July 13th is Recycling Day, so please get out, get your recyclables up there. We have been averaging 30 tons. We'd like to do better. For me, Phil Gallagher, along with Frank Halberg and the rest of our staff and crew here at BCAT, thank you. Have a pleasant day.